Glenn Miller was a big band founder, composer, trombone player, and recording artist before and during World War II, when he was also an officer in the US Army Air Force. The popular swing-era bandleader boarded a single-engine plane on December 15, 1944, from an airfield about 50 miles off London. Miller was heading to Paris to make arrangements to bring his army band over to entertain American troops. But as the plane was crossing over the English Channel, Major Glenn Miller, who was 40 years at the time, along with pilots John Morgan and an additional passenger, Colonel Norman, perished in the crash. There have been many theories as why the plane went down, including it was shot down by German Air Force, or the wings were iced over at the time of takeoff. Regardless of why or how, Glenn Miller was sadly never seen or heard from again. Jim Reeves was a country singer and songwriter. He became well known as a practitioner of Nashville sound and was known for hits like Four Walls and He Will Have to Go. Jim Reeves was in Bestoville, Arkansas when he boarded his single-engine plane on July 31st, 1964, bound for Nashville. However, they ran into bad weather and became disoriented, causing the plane to crash at a high rate of speed. It would take days to finally discover the wreckage, despite eyewitnesses seeing and hearing the accident. The singer was laid to rest in his hometown in Carthage, Texas, following a procession through the streets of Nashville, where thousands of fans gathered to pay their last respects. Aaliyah was a popular singer, dancer, and budding actress whose career spanned the 1990s. She was credited for helping redefine the contemporary R&B. Following her successful albums, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number and One in a Million, she embarked on an acting career that saw her starring in films like Romeo Must Die and Queen of the Damned. It was during a video shoot for her latest album titled Aaliyah that she and 8 others boarded a chartered Cessna for a flight from the Bahamas to Florida. However, the plane would never make it off the island, crashing just after takeoff and killing all on board. Following the crash, an investigation was launched to figure out why. They discovered that the pilot had drugs in his system and the plane has been overloaded, exceeding its weight limit. Aaliyah was just 22 when she died. Despite being so young, she had accomplished quite a lot, including briefly marrying the now disgraced singer R. Kelly. John Denver was a singer and songwriter known for popularizing folk music in the 1970s and was widely considered a cultural icon of the American West. The 53-year-old was an experienced pilot too, but his pilot license has been suspended following a drunk driving accident. Despite this, Denver climbed into a homemade aircraft that he had recently purchased and took off for a flight along the Pacific coast near Pacific Grove, California on October 12, 1997. Suddenly, the plane plunged into the ocean, crashing and killing Denver. The investigators were able to determine that Denver crashed after Denver unsuccessfully attempted to switch fuel tanks in flight, a maneuver that had led him to inadvertently hit the rubber paddle by mistake, leading to a loss of control. John Denver remains has been cremated and his ashes has been scattered across the Rocky Mountains in Colorado, a fitting tribute to the Rocky Mountain High singer. Randy Rhoads was the co-founder of the metal music band Quiet Riot. He was also known for playing guitar and co-writing songs with Ozzy Osbourne on his first solo albums. Rhoads was 25 when he boarded a small plane in Leesburg, Florida on March 19, 1982. The intent for the flight was to take some aerial photo and buzz the tall boss for some fun. The accident happened when Andy, whose pilot license had expired, attempted to buzz Ozzy Osbourne's tall boss. But during the attempt, the airplane's wing clipped on the bus and the plane crashed into a house. All 3 passengers on the plane died instantly and were burned beyond recognition. Randy Rhoads was fearful of flying, but he wanted to take some photos that he would show his mother. Instead, he was later identified using dental records. Patsy Cline was a singer who was considered one of the most influential of the 20th century, and she was one of the first country music artists to cross over into pop music. She was on her way back from Nashville from Kansas City when she and 3 others boarded a Piper Comanche on March 5, 1963. The bad weather had caused the plane to stop several times, and they had even refueled in Arkansas before continuing to Nashville. However, shortly after taking off from Davisville, Tennessee, despite having been warned not to fly, the plane fell from the sky about 90 miles short of the Music City. The wreckage was found the next day in Camden, Tennessee, and Patsy's wristwatch was discovered, which displayed the time of the accident as 6:20 p.m. The watch is now part of the Country Music Hall of Fame's collection, which commemorates the life of Patsy Cline. James Horner was a composer who worked on over 160 films and television productions between 1978 and 2015, which includes Alien, Field of Dreams, Braveheart, and Avatar, among many others. He was best known for his work on the James Cameron-directed 1997 film Titanic, which earned Best Original Dramatic Score and Best Original Song of Celine Dion classic My Heart Will Go On. Horner was a trained pilot and had decided to take his turboprop aircraft for a flight on June 22, 2015. He was flying over the Los Padres National Forest north of Los Angeles, California. Eyewitnesses on the ground reported that he was flying as low as just above the trees. With rapid altitude changes, he skimmed the ridgeline and maneuvered through the canyon, which caused the crash. 3 days later, the Ventura County Medical Examiner Officer ruled the crash as an accident, and the NTSB reported that Horner failed to maintain clearance, which led to the crash. Otis Redding is regarded as one of the greatest singers in the history of American music, but his life was cut short at an early age of 26 on December 10, 1967. Redding and members of the band boarded his private jet on a flight from Cleveland headed towards Madison, Wisconsin, with pilot Richard Fraser at the controls. The weather was bad, with cold drizzle and fog moving in as they approached Madison. The airplane fell from the sky, crashing into Lake Monona, which was about just 4 miles from the airport. The water was frigid, and there was only one survivor from the band, Ben Coley, who was able to describe the moment the plane hit the water. Today, the cause of the crash still remains unclear, although some speculate that they may have had engine troubles. 1 month after the crash, Redding, sitting on the dock of the bay, was released, and it went straight up to number 1.